Aloha, everybody. Welcome to Masters Eve. What an holiday. What an event we got, but what a human being. We got Chief, the Blatant Golf. Joe, you're a credit to your race. Glad to have you this evening. Glad to talk Masters. How you living?
Rob, it's an absolute pleasure. I was thinking about if I should give you access to the family tree. I don't know if you're an uncle or a cousin quite yet. You're somewhere in between probably.
Yeah.
We'll
I
go.
might, I might, I might be like that weird cousin that you don't see ever so often, but when it's Thanksgiving, that you and him go on walks away
Yes,
from the family. That,
yeah, and refresh DraftKings. I love it.
that's right.
That works. I'm pumped, man. Like this, is like the best week of the year. We were just talking about it. Masters opening day. We just had the NCAAs finished the other day, so I'm ready to roll here. Like this is a brutal Wednesday. Most hump days are just the wait for tee off Thursday, but we're almost there. I mean, we got a few more hours left. A little more fidgeting with the lineups, but I'm feeling good. I always feel good though, and it usually doesn't work out well. So hopefully that changes this week.
That's right. And shout out to the Trailer Park Boys. Maybe with a happy hour, we're gonna let the liquor do the thinking, and if we are tweaking. But what about just initial thoughts? It's Wednesday, the night before. We got a little tease of a little bit of the par three contest. We got some wind, we got some weather, we got soft conditions. Maybe I know there's a lot to consider. What are you most kind of weighing on? What's most weighing on you Wednesday Eve of the Masters tomorrow?
Yeah, didn't catch much of the par three. Saw the Kraken had a nice hole in one. I don't buy into any of that. I saw Tommy Fleetwood and his cute little kid, Rom and his kid. Whatever, it's a beautiful thing. It's all about family. But in terms of the actual tournament, I just finished up watching. I usually watch from '86 when Jack won through whatever the prior year was, like 2 weeks leading up to it. Actually, ESPN Plus has a great like little hour segment for each year, and they're narrated by Uncle Jimmy Nance. So that was enjoyable to watch. Just finished up Hideki's last year. And I think a lot of the same guys are going to lurk, similar conditions. Hopefully it won't be a complete shit show like the Players was in terms of the weather. I don't think it's going to be. And I'm not a big guy that stacks anyway with the weather. So I'm ready for them to get out there. I think every top dog is hungry, but there's a few that I especially think need the green jacket. Some guys, of course, want it, but there's a few that need it. So hopefully we can highlight those. And I'm just amped. I'm ready to roll here.
Yeah, I'm ready to get cooking as well. Yeah, there's so many. One thing that's going kind of so heavily is obviously narratives. Like it's not even a narrative; it's evidence based. That course history obviously plays a big role here. I do think we can squeeze too much juice out of that. Kind of stat, if we call it that. Because when in outrights, yeah, you need guys that have been proven to play well here to be on your betting card. But each year we get a kind of a rando that finishes in the top 15 that's on the DFS winning lineup that kind of comes out of nowhere. Your boy Tommy Peters in what was that 2017? You had CT Pan, you had even Dylan Fratelli sneaking around, I think last year or in 2020. So you need a guy like that. Justin Harding, kind of another one. You need a guy like that, and obviously, so you can't solely depend on all six of your roster spots for something like course history. The other thing I'll just throw out is that ownership percentage is going to be really condensed this week. Shorter field, you get the Larry Mizes of the world. So then there's a cut, but the cut's easier to make. Again, the weight on course history to win. It's just a condensed field, so there's gonna be more lineups that are duped. So just ways to get maybe a little unique is even more important this week. But so we're doing the power hour. It probably won't last an hour. We probably I don't even know if we have all the like that many golfers we want to talk about. But I got my phone here. We're gonna set a timer. We're gonna go through the board. We got a minute to talk about each guy, and we'll start up top to Scotty Scheffler. I'm going official. I'm going like I've got my hang loose. We're island living right now. Hang loose Hawaii thing. What you sipping on back home?
Hang loose. I got my Stella gang over here. I don't know what we're doing with the camera. It's a little Fugazi today, but I got my little cooler pack. And in case things get crazy, just a little Pepto for later. We'll see what happens.
Maybe. Yeah, we're
good. maybe in the sicko range. We'll get to it.
All right. You might need to.
Let's go, man. Let's go. Real quick though, I gotta say, great job on the major report. Was great. Watched both nights. I was talking to Joey before. I told him I'm ready in AAA next year if he needs a little comic relief. Listen, great job with him and Andy. I actually got Van Morrison on in the background. I know he's a big fan. So it's just great seeing the community get together. It brings a damn tear to my eye on the eve of the Masters. So I'm ready to roll. Like, let's do it.
Yeah, and shout out to the community again, and Andy and Joe and just everybody that had a part. That was so fun. Yeah, it was so great, and thankful to have a real small part of it. One thing that was just awesome that Joe's content and the kind of art, I guess we'll call it, that he puts out is so well done. I love with the menus, but when he announced it, it kind of had like a music festival theme. And I love being I was at the very end. Like I was at like the Friday at noon. I got a 30-minute set list. But then you got like the headliners. Pat Mayo, was playing for 2 hours on Saturday night. He had the headliner. It was just, he kills it. It was fun. But changing the subject, I'm really colleging it right now. I got a bag of my beers. I don't know what, I couldn't find my cooler. I got a bag. I'm going real sloppy. I'm going real sloppy tonight.
Got a little cooler here. I'm ready. I mean, the kitchen's only about 5 steps away, so if I need to reload, I'll fire in. But I'm one down, just a little warm up beer, and then number 2's in the canister now. So we're ready. I'm ready to go.
There you go. You're a little bit more classy than I'm gonna take my lucky lay off, getting laid. We'll save that for tomorrow. Showdown sweat. Well, good deal. Well, let's get cooking. I'm gonna start the timer. You take about 30 seconds. You tell me your feelings on Scotty Scheffler. You take your drink whenever you want, and let's get cooking. Here we go.
All right, let's do it. So Scotty Scheffler. Don't need to reinvent the wheel with this one. It's the perfect contrarian play this week. That being said, I have 0% exposure currently. It could be a last-minute emergency deposit, a Wednesday ED special. Makes all the sense in the world. 2 top 20s here. Playing out of his mind, but I have a note on every player in the field, and the one for him just says, "Law of averages, tread lightly." Too many other top dogs that need this, so I'm going to be off Scotty this week.
Yeah, I'm the same thing, and maybe it's this bias that's kind of rolling with a lot of us, is that he just got number 1 in the world. He's just coming off a couple wins that he can't do it. Gosh, you're getting the number 1 player in the world. I know he's at a severe price, but you're getting him at under 10% right now. Pretty solid. We know he hits it well, hits it long. Got the long irons, doing well. But I'm just not landing on it. All right, timer up. We're moving. Refuel. We got John Rahm on deck.
All right, so we'll drink at the timer. That's what we'll do.
Yeah, whatever. You just got to finish it before the minute.
Okay, Rambo. Remember I said at the start of the show, there's some guys that want this and there's other guys that need it. He's at the category of the guy that needs it. He's in his prime of his career right now. He's got the baby out of the way. He's got a nice 66 Sunday. He's got 4 out of 5 top 10s here. He's ready to roll, and I love that he's coming in pissed. The angry Spaniard after the whole thing. Maybe it was taken lightly by some, but the comment about Tiger not helping him this week, I love that for him. I'm going out to Home Depot and looking for the hammer aisle for Rahm this week. I think it's a no-brainer.
So he's in your player pool.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty heavy on Rahm this week.
Yeah, I wanted to bet Rahm. I should say it's a DFS show. I wanted to play Rahm. Ownership sneaking up a little bit. I'm a little worried about that, but this maybe is a liquor dude thinking, and there's no data to back it up, but a lot has just gone wrong with Rahm. Putting, he's kind of not having the yips, but we saw him miss that 2-footer at the beginning of March, wherever that was, I think. All right, switch it up. So I'm not playing Rahm. So we're going to refuel. DJ.
DJ, just a guy that's going to, roll out of bed here, tell Paulina to meet him on 18, and he's going to shoot 67 probably tomorrow in his sleep. Just got to play him every time. Again, I don't think he's going to get it. I think he will get another green jacket in his career, but I don't think it's this year. As I said, there's a few other guys that I think are hungrier for it this year. So I would say sprinkle DJ, but I'm not going to hammer him.
See, DJ's ownership is trending down. I have a handful of DJ. I might even add more. Really like him. I just feel like he's a guaranteed top 10. He ranks second in fan shares, course suitability ranking. Obviously, we know how well he does here. Decent form and maybe even pretty good form. We saw he got to the semifinals of the match play. Didn't get to the finals, so kind of just checked out. Everybody saw that one coming.
Yeah.
Strong on DJ. Yeah, it just fits like a glove. We got 5 seconds, so we're teeing up. JT, very popular. Tell me about JT.
Tee it up, baby. Let me tell you about JT right here. Just go. Don't think twice about this. There's things in life. If I've learned anything with DK, if you love a guy, just hammer him. Don't forget about ownership. Forget about second guessing yourself. I've been on this for months. I know a lot of people have. I have about 12 different insane parlays with the other majors with him. So I think JT is his tournament to lose.
I agree. Best ball striker that there is right now. In excellent form. Got bones on the bag. Been attached to Tiger at the hip. Will be highly owned, but it doesn't matter. Very, very popular. I did scale back a little bit of my JT ownership. He was one of my highest owned guys, but just because the steam is burning like a wildfire on him, I just wanted to scale back and maybe find leverage spots otherwhere. But I still have a good, healthy chunk of them. JT from my hometown, Louisville, Kentucky. Kentucky native. Yeah, we're practically brothers.
Don't be scared. Remember, when he won, he was like 32%. So if
that's true.
That was DJ. So,
all right.
I mean, continue on with Morikawa. Okay. Listen, I mentioned about the post-engagement bliss theory at the players. You guys chuckled. Okay. Now listen, I'm basically throwing out the players. It was a win shit show. That being said, he has not been playing great the last few months. It's not like last summer at the Open. But I like that I think he's kind of tuned into this. Most important thing with him, besides being low owned and contrarian, he's the type of cerebral player like Spieth and many before him that are going to get better every year he sets foot on Augusta. So I think Morikawa is an excellent play. I've got him in the Millie Maker, but I'm mostly in the 5 and the 3. But I had to sprinkle a couple, and I think he's just perfect this week for the Masters.
Yeah, like Colin, not playing him. He is not hitting the ball as well as we see before we get 3 seconds in. Not playing him. I don't play him. All right. I'm going to start us off after I take this drink because this is my boy right now. So let me kind of get this beer.
Yeah, I'm going to be hammered by the 9K range. Let's go. I love it.
Yeah, so this is moving a lot quicker than I thought. All right, so Victor Hoblin is one of my highest owned golfers in the field, coming in at around 11%. Victor Hoblin, people think don't have a good course history, was low am here. When Tiger won last year, finished 32nd, started with a triple on 1. You take that triple away, give him a par, he finishes top 10, is ranked second in the field over the last 24 in proximity and approach. I'm not too concerned about the round to green. Yeah, do I want him to be better? Yes, but he'll make up some of those bogeys with more birdies. Look at his rounds last year with how many birdies he got. I love Victor.
Okay, good boy, Victor. Love it. I sort of think around the green touch short game. He's never going to be Seve, let's be honest. But on a wet, long course, perfect game for it. Perfect long.
All right, we got to move on.
All right, Rory. Listen.
Tell me about Rory.
Okay, I almost got in a fist fight with Liam over this the other day of the Rory versus Sanders debate. Rory is winning a green jacket. I don't give a shit. It may not be this year. People forget he was the best player on earth for a good 9-year stretch. He went through a few things in his life, whatever. He's going to have to get over his demons from 2011. I think he will. It could be this week. The course sets up perfect for him. But I have to sprinkle Rory. I'm sorry. The record's too good here. I know he hasn't been great, but he's been better this year. I think you got to sprinkle him.
Yeah, I'm taking a trip to Baskin Robbins as well, throwing some sprinkles on him. Yeah, so I'm sprinkling Rory. Yeah, speaking of cerebral players, he's too cerebral, too in his own mind. He needs to get back to the feel of the golf swing that got him to world number 1. 13% owned, not bad. 15th in course suitability ranking. Sandwiched between Cam Smith or right next to him, that will take away some ownership of Rory. Big fan of Rory this week. How much timer? All right. Moving on, take a drink. We're talking about Cam. Cam now. Tell me about Cam.
Okay, I'm gonna need a reload. Cam Smith, just a guy that's gonna play well every year here. We know the Aussies love this course. Scotty, Wild Leash Doggy. Cam Smith is just the next in line with that. I don't think he's gonna win again. Rare that you see players Masters back to back. Almost more to lock for T20 though.
Yeah, I don't see. He's going to make the cut. He's going to, he's going to contend. I don't think he wins.
Two T5s here. Please be careful. That's all I'm telling you.
Yeah, well, he's going to be the highest owned golfer in the field, if not one of the highest owned. The leverage opportunity in DFS is too good to pass up. We're getting him at a very high, so he's priced the highest he's been in this type of field since I can remember, and he's chalk in this field, very highly owned. So Cam's a pass on me. We got 9 seconds before we take our next drink, so I'm just going to filter that into Jordan Spieth. So take your drink. Tell me about Jordan.
Okay, I already took my drink, but I'll take another one real quick. Spieth, but we don't need to waste time on this. I mean, we saw what happened last week, top on the field strokes game while he couldn't putt. Well, no one knows these greens better than him except for maybe Gentle Ben Crenshaw. So I would say I would get back on the Spieth train. I can't watch the pre-swing. It needs to stop. It gives me too much agita. Dare I say Pepto-inducing. But, hey, listen, it's all about results, and that's all Spieth is at Augusta. So I play away.
I love it. Third in course suitability ranking. We know his course history. You said it. Kind of excelled tee to green at Valero. Excelled on approach, but lost 7 strokes on the greens. Unheard of. He does come to a place where he's had a lot of success on the greens. There's upside there. He's only 14% owned. Jordan Spieth. Sign me up. Sign me up for Jordan Spieth. Can't believe he's only 14%. Cannot believe. All right, 5. Yeah,
I'm actually going to go back and hammer the shit out of him after we're done talking, because next up is Xander, and the more I think about it, I just can't play this guy. Like, he's not going to do it again after. I know he's great at the majors. I like him personally. He's going to have that demon to shake off when he walks up to Redbud on 16, going in the water after a duff last year. Frankly, and I don't see it with him. He's solid. He probably T20s, but I just love Spieth, Cantlay, and Brooksy so much more. I just, for me, win equity wise, I just think Cantlay is basically a slightly better version of Xander. And he's been there before. I'm so heavy on Cantlay at the U.S. Open this year, but he definitely could win the Masters. So Xander, I'm right now it's a sprinkle because you have to. He has a great major record, but the win equity's not there yet. He will get one. It could be this week. But again, just like more guys around him better.
I love it. I'm not even going to mention anything about Xander because we're almost out of time, so we're going to refuel. And I'll start us off with Cantlay. You kind of nailed it on the head with Cantlay. Has kind of a weird year, and I probably need to take my drink. Kind of had a weird year so far. Had some decent finishes, but a lot of it's been done with the putter. As kind of lost strokes on approach more than he's gained. But one angle I love, he's coming in lowish owned, under 13%, is around 12%. One angle I love is golfers who've had a little bit of a break, what Cantlay has, because I think these top tier golfers are more likely to find their form than maybe the lower tier. And so you're getting someone who might be able to get some positive regression at low ownership. We know that Cantlay, he was lurking. He got he was like tied for the lead going into the back nine, I think, the year Tiger won in 2019. So we know he can play as well here. Anything else you got about Cantlay?
Yeah, this is the only thing I got about Cantlay. Cantlay and Brooksy double hammer back to back. We don't even need to waste further time on this. I mean, alpha dog and Brooksy. Let's not forget, Cantlay, Ryan Newman chime in, agree. Cantlay's, he won Player of the Year. I realized Rahm was probably better at 12 months, but Cantlay's or Rahm has been the best player for the last year. So he always sucks at the players, and I'm writing off the players. It was a shit show. I think Cantlay's going to be lurking heavily come Sunday, and so
I like it.
So is Brooksy, despite the awful haircut. They're both going to be lurking. That's it. Brooksy wasn't even healthy last year. I was watching him. He couldn't even stand up. It was like Tiger. His knee was completely mangled. I think Brooksy is out for blood this week. I cannot wait for Sunday.
Yeah, I think Brooks is going to announce his return to top form this week. He's going to stalk the grounds. Big on Brooks, trending in the right direction. And you know what? He's not even he's garnering some ownership, but he's under 20. He's about 17% right now. Not bad. The guy. So we're going to move on. The guy I think is so interesting, and that's Hideki. Kind of won last year.
Ugh.
Has a little bit of a neck injury. Maybe a lot of bit of a neck injury. He withdrew last week after round one. But if he is healthy, and I think he'll play even if he's not healthy. Hideki at 4% owned is kind of silly. Him and Bryson are in the same category, and I much prefer Hideki over Bryson. So if you're playing in the Millie Maker, you might want to throw in a couple Decky lineups, because even if he finishes top 10, just that leverage gives you kind of some power over other competitors. So in the contest, I like Hideki. What do you think about the reigning Masters champ?
Yeah, I'm not going there. He killed me at the Players with the withdrawal. I just, again, to defend, unless you're Spieth, I just don't see it for him. I think if he's healthy, I'm sure he'll make the cut and be fine. But just way too much risk. And again, why am I even messing around with him if I have Brooks and Cantlay right there? Unless, like you said, Millie Maker, just to be contrarian for sure. And same thing for Bryson. I saw the pricing come out, and I was ready to hammer the shit out of Bryson. But then I saw the interview with him, and I mean, when a player says he's only 80%, usually the player says I'm fine, whatever. Like, no, he definitely is not fully healthy yet. And looking back, I mean, his best finish here was when he was an amateur, like 6 years ago. So I don't know that this course is ever going to work out well for Bryson. On the other hand, Willie Z sandwiched in between of them, it makes a lot of sense. I'm sprinkling Willie Z because what he did last year. But I don't expect another top 5 lurk. Spieth is a once in a generation type of player. And I don't know that Willie Z is that. Willie Z has yet to even win, a regular event. He will very soon, could be this week. But again, for me, with Cantlay and Brooksy right there, hammering the two of them, light sprinklage through the lower 9s into the upper 8s.
Yeah, big on Brooks. Bryson is going to win the green jacket eventually. I think it's not this week. As far as you're talking about the 80%, I believe Bryson wants sympathy. He wants that attention. You could be milking a little bit more. What do I know? Willie Z is interesting. He's very interesting. He ranks first in course suitability ranking in the whole field. Very surprised about that for Willie Z. Also surprised he's only coming in at 13%. Heart of Wake Forest at that low of ownership number is pretty impressive. I'm still staying away from Willie Z. His putter showed a lot of improvement at the match play, but there's so much variance that that's talked about so often. So much variance with putting. He putted the lights out at the Masters last year. I don't think he gets that done. I think he's going to find Masters a little bit more difficult to go around. But Willie Z has the game to win anywhere, especially here, because Augusta is really a second shot golf course. But just not this week for me. Not this week for me. Daniel Berger, interesting. Wanted to go there, couldn't go there. Doesn't have the right ball flight. Kind of hits it somewhat low, but at under 10%, I'm happy for people that do it. And then you got Louis O. Paired with Tiger, that's going to hurt. But if anybody can do it, Louis O can. What are you thinking about those guys?
All right, so this is what everyone's calling the dead range, right? The upper 8K range this week. I mean, I have a few thoughts on this. One, Berger, I was ready to hammer at this price. I think, and I'm a big narrative guy like Chad and everybody else. Berger has bad karma, I think, coming his way for being a little rules prick the last few weeks. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And I think to the contrary, Louis has some good karma coming his way. You know about the albatross and everything else. He's been so close. I think Kyle Porter tweeted it he's at 7 swings away from 5 majors. I mean, Louis, I don't care about the Tiger thing, and I don't really care about Niemann either. If that's going to suppress his ownership, give me more. I know the whole thing. I was big into that. Niemann and Tiger seemed like they were pretty tight. He just won at Riv, probably the strongest correlated course. We'll get down to him. But if that's going to scare people off them, I just give me more of them. It's going to be a circus there anyway. These are 2 veteran guys now. Niemann, young kid, but I mean, well beyond his years. Top amateur in the world for several years, and now has multiple wins on tour. I know he's a little bit lower. We'll get to him, but Louis for sure. The Irish Bear, Shane Lowry is right up next, and no one's hitting the ball better than him. Bamford made a really strong case for him, and I have to agree. I don't necessarily see Lowry wearing a green jacket. Maybe it's just the visual imagery of it all. But he definitely has the deftness of touch around the greens for it. and the way he's been hitting the ball, I wouldn't be shocked if he's lurking. But for me, I'm just sprinkling his range, not going insane here again, because there's too much in that mid to low 9, and then we're getting down to the low 8s that I love. We'll get to that next. But what do you think? There's a few other guys here. Give me your mid 8 range, and I'm going to take a double sip because we kind of skipped a couple.
We did. Well, I love the transactions of the karma points that you brought up. And so if Louis making a lot of deposits in the karma points, you got to ride a guy who's got a lot of karma in his pocket. Louis, I might have to jump on him. But the Irish Bear, I do think he's going to win a green jack. He seems like the type of golfer that's going to, win multiple majors. Maybe not, 5 or anything like that, but I could see 2 in his history. And if it's going to be a Masters, it's going to be this week, right? It's going to be cooler temperatures. It's going to be windy. We know what he can do. He's coming in good form. So if it's going to be this week, if it's going to be a Masters, it, might as well be this year with the weather. Gooch is incredibly interesting. Overpriced, which is making him under-owned. He's the lowest owned, I'm going to call him top-tier golfer. He's coming in at under 3%. Massive leverage opportunity, but Gooch should play well here. Gooch is a guy that is great with his irons, great around the green, and can get hot putting. What Gooch does not do well is off the tee, and so when you get a little bit wider fairways like this, Gooch does well. This is a Gooch course. I know Sam Burns just won. He almost won the Players, but I think Burns is a little bit ahead of Gooch, but maybe at the end of their career, they're going to be neck and neck, and you're getting a severe ownership discount on Gooch. I like him. Burns, I could get there, but we got to spend some time talking about the big cat. So let's pause it. Let's just take a drink. Let's collect ourselves. Let's get zen. Let's start talking about Eldrick. Let's talk about the big cat. What do we think about his chances?
About Lord Eldrick? All right, I'll just tell you, I'm Burns over Gooch for the win equity. I think Burns was built for a course like this. Gooch is great. I'm just waiting like everyone else for Southern Hills with him. But the big cat, listen, of course Freddie Boom Boom is going to talk him up in the interview. That did nothing for me. I saw him walking. He's not fully healthy. I'm so happy that he's playing. I think he'll make the cut. I think he probably has a nice T40 number. I think 2019 was a seminal moment for him. I was brought to tears by it, like many others. But just the fact that he's out there this week is good enough for me. And again, if you're going to give me an informed Adam Scott at 8,300, I'm not messing around with it. I just can't do it. I would love to see it. I'd love to be wrong. But nah, just too many guys right below him that I'm ready to hammer. I can't do it.
We have the emotional mind, we have the logic mind, we have the rational mind. My emotional mind is telling me that Tiger's going to finish top 15 and contend a little bit, maybe after 2 rounds. Logical mind says no. So rational mind says, Tiger's going to do something Tiger. He's probably not going to win, but he's going to do something Tiger-esque. We're to see some greatness there. I am excited to talk about Adam Scott. A great wind player. He does get, I think, the toughest draw. He gets to play in the hardest wind in the afternoon in round 2. But Adam Scott's a great wind player. Surprising, and I tweeted out on Monday, Adam Scott's putting recently is some of the best in the field. I think over the 24 rounds, we'll just read my Twitter. He's one of the best, and I give all this data. So if that's your thing, read it. Sung Jae, possible leverage play. I know your boy, brought that up. What are we doing about Neiman, who's paired with Tiger, being in the same group? What do we do with that?
All right, so obviously I brought the hammer out for this. Adam Scott, not just because I got the free DraftKings bet when they opened up in New York, but I've had that outright for 3 months now, and he's only been playing better. Love that stat you brought up. I mentioned it on the podcast, Who's Your Caddy. He's just so ready for this. There's so many – I got to talk about Adam Scott. I may need more than 30 seconds. Forget about all the stats that make sense. He's won a green jacket. I think that Greg Norman and him have a connection. Obviously, bad karma for Greg Norman at the Masters,
right,
and for the Saudi League. But Adam Scott is that last beacon of hope of guys kind of that could maybe set this model up to be, whether it's him, Kokrak, Uncle Lee, we'll get to whoever. Adam Scott's got a lot on his shoulders. Some might say that's a lot of pressure. I would say that he needs one more major to cement his legacy. And I think this might be the best chance that he has. Long off the tee, just great, as you said, phenomenal putting of lately, which is kind of erratic for him. And I don't love watching with the stick in and everything else, whatever. Just a great long ball striker that needs that one more. I'm obsessing about this, but I think it's a thing. Guys that need that second major or need that, I think this is his best chance to get one more. I just love it, 8,300. And look what's surrounding. 2 first-timers in Gooch and Burns, injured Tiger, Sung Jae out of form. Yes, Romeo does think it's contrarian. It will be contrarian. But Adam Scott, 8,300 is value central. I mean, I'm hammering the shit out of him. I think I have him in 70% of lineup. So I'm going down. I'm going down with Adam Scott. And if that fucks me, then so be it. But it just makes too much sense to me. And I'm done fading guys for popularity and stuff like that. Like Adam Scott is, I mean, for me, also last thing, crazy narrative. The last image in his mind of a big tournament is him hooking it into 18 twice at Sawgrass. I think he's been ready to show up after that. And I don't care about the draw. It is what it is. I think Adam Scott has a big week ahead.
You just got me fired up. And fun fact, Adam Scott has been my favorite golfer since I can remember. So the heart hammer is going hard tonight.
Let's not forget he was with Kate Hudson for a little bit. This guy has game in all facets, and there's nothing to fade him right now. That's all I'm saying. That's it.
Yeah, and you know what? You know the guy. He has the great swing. He has a great heart, and you sold me with. He's got some karma points cooking. I might add some more Adam Scott. Bet him outright too. Finau's interesting. I wanted to play more of him. If you watched the, coach on not coach on Twitter, but coach on the ESPN Plus over the weekends at Valero was obviously a Tony Hammer, which is thrown out like insane stats that weren't true. That was like leading the field in approach, and he's like last in putting, and Tony gained strokes last weekend.
Coach, I'm so glad he left WWE to come back to golf. I mean, both coaches, North Forker and John Coachman, are both great. And I know what you mean. He has some blatant lines on the live cast. But once I got that golf magazine last month with Tony smiling with that shit-eating grin on the front, I knew the hammer was coming. This is his price every major, right? I mean, he's always this. The only difference is that he's usually like 25%. And I think it's going to be spread out between Scotty, probably Russell Henley. I don't know. So I'm hoping he stays under 20. Well, I haven't really looked at him. What is it? What's his ownership right now?
So his ownership is 10. I mean, very doable. But who I'm so excited about, and if you give me the hammer through the camera, there's 2 guys that I love. They're one of the highest owned in my player pool. First is Tyrell Hatton.
Oh, Romeo loves him.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people don't love it. I'm getting surprised. Excellent form. Like this spring has been a great spring. In the last 3 starts, he's recorded a second, a 13th, and 21st. He has gained strokes and approach and 3 straight. 5.4 at the Valspar. His best finish was last year at the Masters in 18, so like not great. But he's coming into this Masters arguably the best he has, strokes gained wise. And he's one of the best statistically putters that are out there in almost every single metric. So if you combine, his great putting that hopefully can hold and his current form with his ball striking, and he's kind of progressively getting better each Masters. Sign me up for Hatton. Let me look at his ownership right now. Yeah, and it's under 10%. It's 8. We're rounded up to 9%. I love it. And then the other whose ownership I was surprised, and that's Georgia native Russell Henley.
Oh,
the Bulldog. And so I get pleasantly surprised by his ownership. It's kind of sneaking up, but gosh, he's had a great season. Hasn't missed a cut. And I couldn't tell you in that long. His last 2 starts has 2 top 15s. And his last starts, the Players, the kid gained 11 and a half strokes on approach. Like silly strokes on approach. Again, a Bulldog. 2 top 15 finishes in his last start. Reasonable salary, reasonable ownership. He actually has played well here in the past. I mean, it's been a while. He had a gap, but has played well here. I thought Russell Henley was going to be 25 to 20% owned. He's 17, so it's not great, but I'm also 5th in course suitability. If you had a hammer it for me, Russell Henley and Hatton.
Okay, I'll tell you real quick. Hatton actually, both of these guys are similar to me. Great putters, not that long. Remember when Henley holed out from like 200? I forgot what hole it was. I don't think it was the par 5 8. I think it was maybe 6 or 7. No, 6 the par 3. Maybe it was 7. Like 3 or 4 years ago. That just I remember he took a huge chunk out of the hole, and they had to come out and repair the hole. It was either Saturday or Sunday. But I'll tell you what, Russell Henley, year of the dog. I mean, let's not forget Zeege laid up on every par 5 and won the Masters at +1 in 07. I don't think Henley's going to do that because it's a bit longer. But I mean, he got mad dogged in Hawaii. I think Henley's fucking a great play this week. The guy just give me those Georgia dogs. It is the year of the dog. They know that's the thing. I think Henley's coming in hot this week, and I'm playing him pretty heavily.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, I'm playing him really heavily. I was surprised how heavily I'm playing him. I just love him, and I rarely love Henley. When Henley came on tour, when he first won at Sony, like his first start, that first year, he was one of the better putters on tour, and he just kind of lost it. But I still believe in his back class with the putter, and I think that'll come back. I'm more surprised how the ball striking's been, but we get an interesting range here. We get past champ Sergio. We get Fleetwood, who I know that you're on. I saw your Hump Day Hammers.
Yes, sir.
Fitzpatrick and Connors. Like, this is an interesting range. Why don't you tee us off?
Okay, so yeah, this is basically the Union Jack, I'll call it, this area, Monday misprice range. When the pricing came out last week, I mean, obviously Corey Connors and Fitzy were going to be the chalk, right? And then
right.
Corey Connors played even better to finish up the match play. I need ownership numbers from you. And then Uncle Paul comes out and says, "Oh yeah, my back's fine," like whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, Webb. He must have seen a great chiropractor. I got to give Coach a shout out. I know we break his balls, but he was on the Webb injury way before anyone. And then Justin Rose. I mean, Justin Rose, he lurks at Augusta every year. Looking at the numbers, first round leader last year at the 965. He's there every year along with Uncle Lee. We'll get to him. So for me, yes, I'm going Tommy Fleetwood. I love what I saw from him at the Players during the shit show. I mean, Fitzy, though, he has killed me more than anyone else, but his 6-month form is frightening.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it doesn't fit. But again, I just keep thinking of Zach Johnson. Like, there's been a lot of mid-tier guys, 40, 50 to 1, that have won here, not bombing away. So, I mean, yes, I know the course is set up for bombers this week, but some of these guys in this range, I mean, you got to pick your poison, but there's a few guys under them I'm very, very excited to talk about. But this holds 77 down to 74. Sprinkle, I would kind of sprinkle all of them, honestly. There's none of them that I don't like, really. My favorite is Tommy Fleetwood, just based on how he's had a resurgence of late. But, I mean, if any of these guys T5, that wouldn't be shocked, honestly.
Yeah. I love it. And I'm going to throw out, I like Fitzpatrick a little bit. Current form is great. The big fade that I'm doing, I think he's highest owned projected right now, and that's Corey Connors. Highest owned because severe drop in salary. At this range, a lot of people are starting their lineups with like a JT and then a Brooks, and that's going to leave you around $7,500. So people are going to scroll down and they're going to see Corey Connors. Corey Connors, great course history here. I mean, especially in those last 2 starts. But I believe it's too small of a sample size to judge it's a good course fit. One thing I love about Fanshare, his course suitability ranking is 26. I mean, you think, okay, that's not, that must be pretty good. Well, in this condensed field, not so much. And for a guy that is at 25, 26% owned, no. And we know is kind of how bad of a putter he is. It's in my opinion, it's silly to invest that much ownership on a guy who can lose it with the putter, who has a small sample size if we're leaning on course history. And I know he had a strong Sunday, but he didn't play well at an event he usually does at last week. So, if he finished top 10 last week, and that might change things. But Corey Connors is my fade of the week. Big Paul Casey guy you mentioned. Go ahead.
Listen, Paul has similar good karma coming his way after the plug ball at the Players, but the match play, I get that it's long and arduous, but like there's a lot of money at stake. I I don't think he would just withdraw. I mean, if he could have just withdrew in the first round, he didn't have to like nudge us along and give Corey Connors and Norton layups with their conceded matches. But I mean, Paul Casey like should definitely play well here. But if he's going to be popular at that price, same with the Prophet. I think we kind of went right over him. Answer. Also creepy mustache. Love the Prophet, but I don't know. He looks sort of like the Monopoly man. Like more devious. I don't know. Like what's good with that? And I'm pretty sure he was just hungover. I think he had a tequila night like prior. I think that was the withdrawal last time out. But I mean, him and Sergio, love them, but not playing either of them. I mean, listen, why am I even saying it? You know who's getting hammered here. Let me get the Pepto ready. Hold on.
Please. Oh, gosh.
Okay, Billy Ho. Let's go. I'm done. I'm fucking done. I know his record here. I know the fidgety feet when he's trying to putt. But I just saw him dapping up Tiger on the range Monday, and I was like, you know what? Billy Ho is going to play well this week. He's playing too well the last 3 months. Florida swing or otherwise. We've seen him lurk at Torrey. We've seen him lurk at the U.S. Open. He's just a solid ball striker. He's long. Again, he's from North Florida. He's like 30 miles down the road. It's not that far. I think Billy Ho bucks his trend of ship play at Augusta, and I think Billy Ho is T10 consideration this week, quite honestly.
I love it. We're running low on time, so we're going to skip around and finish this up.
Come on now. It's Wednesday night. Everyone's got their lineups in. Well, we have a lot more guys to talk about here.
Well, I got to do the dinner thing. Then I got another show tonight with my boys at the foreplay. So one thing I want to talk about, I wanted to find him. Here he is, and that's Robert McIntyre. We got to bring this up because we got to do double or nothing on our bet. You bet. So people that don't know, we bet a head-to-head against each other. You had Ryan Palmer last week. You had Coach Taylor. I bet McIntyre would kind of finish higher than them, and I got lucky because Palmer had a rough weekend. So who are we betting this week? If we're doing a matchup, who's your top play? Is it Billy Ho?
All right. Are you going to take Bobby Mack again? Who are you going to take?
No. It depends on which range of a guy that you like.
All right. Well, I'll take Billy Ho in the below 7,500, 7,000 to 7,500. I'll take Billy Ho.
All right. Well, I'm going to take Bubba Watson, who got off to Year of the Dog. Bubba Watson got off to a great start in the very early of the year. Finished second to HV3 out in kind of the Middle East. Came back, played a little well. We know his course history. It suits well for him. I think he kind of lurks. So we're going to do a Billy Ho, Bubba Watson.
Bubba went to Georgia. When did he graduate? 95? What was his
Well, we got the Gators versus the Dogs. We got an SEC East matchup, Gators versus Dogs. That'll be great. But let's get into the Sicko Special. I have a few. Who are you liking in Sicko Special?
Listen, I have a lot, but I'll try to rip through this really quick. Uncle Lee has to get in the lineup. Cam Young, listen, Willie Z, roommate narrative. Gary Woodland is just hitting the ball too well right now. I'll probably sprinkle EVR. Peters, we already talked about. Sepp, the Austrian Bulldog Straka, amazing driver of the golf ball. Year of the Dog. I know he's a first timer, whatever. Coach Taylor is going to get sprinkled. I have to do it. And last would be Mac Hughes. I have an obscene outright on him. God forbid it's a Danny Willett win fest on Sunday. But I'm not going too heavy in this range. There's too much value in the 7K range. Luke List, I didn't mention him. I think he's gonna have a nice week. But I'm ready to roll, baby. Like big day tomorrow.
Oh, huge day. So I like EVR too, like the other South African, and like Bez a lot. I'm high on Sepp. I am high on Sepp. I think he's going to go out and play well first thing in the morning. Got him in showdown lineups like Sepp. I think I mentioned EVR, but my darling is Stuart Sink. Tied 12 here last year. Sneaky long off the tee. Played well at the Valspar. He knows Hilton Head's coming up. He's getting excited for that. Big time of year for the Sink. So Stewie Sink is my guy. All right. Closing thoughts.
Let's do this again for Hilton Head, right? We have to do that ASAP.
Oh, we got to. So the Masters Hilton Head is my favorite 1-2 duo. Harbortown, I go there every year with the family. I play Harbortown every year. I love it. It's one of my favorite courses. Pete Dye is favorite young man.
I almost went with Romeo in November, but then COVID happened. I'll tell you what, preview, Sneds, Hammer, get ready for it. It's coming.
I can see that. Yeah, and he's an RBC boy, so he has got the karma points cooking.
Yes, sir.
He's got the karma points. So there's a lot I already love about RBC. But hey, we still got the Masters, but we got a nice little dessert with RBC the following week. But Joe, I appreciate your time. Let's have a weekend. Let's all stay in touch for those watching and kind of shooting with us along. We appreciate you. Maybe best week of the year.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Jers. And listen, there's nothing more I'd rather do than come down to the Derby. So let's hit a lineup this week.
Hey, Derby season is around the corner. You and I are like we the Blatant boys. We got a Jers. Like Jers, you need to let us. We got to do a Kentucky Derby show. Like a fun fact. I know we got to go, but I used to work and want to be a thoroughbred trainer when I was right out of college. And I used to work at the track, so I know a thing or two about the ponies. So we got to do a Derby show.
Yeah, I've been to Belmont many times. Right down the Grand Central for me here in Queens. So I can't wait. We'll have to talk.
All right. Good luck, everybody. Have fun.
Yes. Good night.